Okay class, today we are going to learn about probability. Has anyone heard of the term probability before?
Yes.
Yes. Could you tell me in your own words the definition of probability?
It's whatever is in a whole or something.
Whatever is in a whole or something. That's actually pretty close to the definition in the textbook. In our textbook, the definition is the likelihood or chance that a given event occurs. Now, there are several different ways to come up with the answer for probabilities. For today's class, we're only going to do with fractions. Now, let's get started with a few examples. I know this first example everybody can relate to. Everyone has the sock drawer at home. In our sock drawer at home, we have 12 black socks and 6 red socks. The first step to probability is getting a total amount of the items that you're using. So what will be the total amount of socks that we have in our drawer? 18. Now, what would be the chance of us pulling a red sock out of the drawer?
6 over 18.
6 over 18. Now let's look at this fraction. Can we reduce this fraction?
Yes.
Yes. What do we reduce this to?
1/3.
1/3. Does anyone know how we reduced it to the 1/3?
Take the highest common denominator, or greatest, what is it? Greatest?
The greatest
factor.
GCF. Good job, Bree. And what would be the greatest GCF for this one?
6.
6. Good job. The next example we're going to use is a die. And everybody knows what a die is. If you play Monopoly, you've used it several times. So, you're rolling a regular die that has 6 sides. What is the probability of you rolling a 3? So we know that it has 6 sides. What is the probability of you rolling a 3?
1 out of 6.
1 out of 6. Jasmine, can you explain your answer?
Because there's only one side that has a 3 on it, and there's 6 sides in all.
Good job. Do we need to reduce this? Or is it at its lowest point?
At its lowest.
It's at its lowest. Okay, let's go back. Bree, can you just refresh everybody's memory? What is the definition of probability?
It's what could happen from an event, what could or couldn't happen, or what you would get out of it.
Good job. Okay, let's use the die again for our next example. Okay, we're rolling the die. What is the probability of us rolling an even number? And we already know, we said there are 6 sides. What is the probability of, well first, how many even sides are there on a die?
3.
3. So, what would be the probability of us rolling an even number?
3 over 6.
3 over 6. And is this in its lowest form?
No.
No. What would we reduce 3 over 6 to?
1/2.
1/2. Good job, Jasmine. Okay, everybody seems to be getting this, but we're going to do one last example. Raise your hand if you played cards before. Everybody's played cards. Okay, so there are 52 cards in a deck. What is the probability of you choosing a king?
4 out of 52.
4 out of 52. Remember, there's a spade, there's a heart, there's a diamond, and there's a club. And there's a king in each set. So it would be 4 out of 52. And is this in its lowest form?
No.
No. What could we reduce this down to?
1 13.
1 out of 13. Good job, Jasmine. How did you reduce that? What was the greatest common factor of these two?
4.
4. Great job. Okay, let's go back. What way did we come up with our probability answers? There are several different ways, but what way did we use today?
Fractions.
Fractions. Okay. I need everybody to take out their assignment that was in your desk earlier, and this is going to be, it is called probability with a single die, since that was one of the easiest. Okay, so the first question on the paper says find the probability of rolling an odd prime number. And does anybody remember what a prime number is?
A number that can only be multiplied by itself in 1.
Great job, Jasmine. So, remember, there are only 6 sides on the die, and we know that 3 of those sides are even. So, what is the probability of rolling an odd prime number?
Two over 6.
Let's re-look at that again. We know that there are 3 even numbers, so there are 3 odd numbers. So how many odd prime numbers do we have?
3.
3. And so how many, now what is the total number of sides?
6.
Okay, and is this in its lowest form?
No.
No, what would be the lowest form?
1/2.
1/2. Good job. Okay, the second question says, find the probability of rolling a 4 or smaller. And so, of course, we know that there are 6 sides on the die. So what would be the probability of rolling a 4 or smaller?
4 over 6.
4 over 6. Great job, Bree. And is that in its lowest form?
No.
No. If we divide by 2 for each, what will we get?
2 over 3.
2 over 3. Okay, the last question is asking find the probability of rolling an even number. Now, remember what the answer was in number 1, which was asking for an odd prime number. So what would the answer be for number 3? For finding an even number, rolling, what was the probability?
3 over 6.
3 over 6, and we already have that. I will write that again. Okay, so what I need you to do is take out a piece of paper, and I want you to partner up, and I need you to read the problem on the board and answer the 2 questions. I'll give you about 5 minutes to do so, and just raise your hand if you need help. Okay. The question says, you're on an airplane, rows are numbered 1 through 30, and 6 seats per row, 3 on each side of the aisles. Oh, sorry, totally read that wrong. The problem says, you are on an airplane, the rows are numbered from 1 to 30, and there are 6 seats per row, 3 on each side of the aisle, and seats in each row are labeled A through F. First, let's find out how many seats are on the plane.
180.
180. Good job, Danielle. Okay, so the question says, what are your chances for sitting in row number 7?
6 out of 180.
6 out of 180. Is that the lowest we can go for that one?
No.
No, what would we reduce that down to?
1 over 30.
1 over 30. Okay. Okay, so for extra credit, I have an assignment for you guys. I want you to look in newspapers and magazines and see how many members use advertisements that have probability answers. And if you can, ask your mom if you can cut it out and bring it back to me, and that'll be extra points on this week's test. Remember to make sure you turn in your paper with your partner's name, turn it into your tray, and class is dismissed.